to 5 million, I am sorry. I am addressing a particular group only. Forget about the fact that they have a grassroots presence. No, they have the money, unlimited, unconditional sources of money, whereby they can put one poster in every street. Neither the young people, nor the women, nor the Christians can do that, nor any even of the old parties. So if I suddenly say my constituencies have completely been changed geographically to include 6 districts instead of 1, to include 5 to 6 million at least instead of a quarter, I am targeting a particular group. If I say I am against anybody who is not legalized in Egypt like the American NGOs, but I allow the Muslim Brotherhood, who is not a legal entity, to have discounts in the rural areas by 50% on every particular supermarket, and I allow that, I am sorry, this is manipulation. If I am against the old regime and the old party, which used to give people bribes of food and oil and whatever, and we have captured pictures of hundreds and hundreds of areas whereby this was given in the name of the two religious parties to the people in a time when everybody's poor, this is manipulation of elections. So no, the people elected them, yes, but they were manipulated. They were not rigged, and it does not represent it. If I don't allow you the same opportunities and the same level of opportunities, then that is manipulation of elections.
So, do you share concerns that the gains made by women in recent years may be reversed?
The gains of the last 100 years, because people are trying to put it as if we're comparing the Mubarak regime with the revolution. We're not. We're actually comparing two things. We're comparing 100 years of women's activism, not Suzanne Mubarak, the NGOs and the women, and from the old times, Rafat Tahtawi and Qasim Amin, all these women, and what we expected out of the revolution. In the revolution in Maidan al-Tahrir, the women were side by side with men. The women died as the men. The women were beaten as the men. You know, nobody told us, "Inti awra," or "You're not allowed to be there," or "You're a sin," or "You should not be there," or nobody harassed us when we were there. You cannot come after this and say, "No, no, no, you have a lesser status than men." I am sorry.
What has happened since the revolution?
The quota was cancelled. Women were not in the committee to review or amend the constitution. There was an attack on the personal status law, although it is based on Sharia and not on the other things. There was no women that are representative in a vocal way. There is an attack on women right and left. Women were, the preachers, whoever they are, came out on TV in every media channel talking about what we wear and as if our religion is only about what we dress, is not about what is in our heart, and as if this is the priority in Egypt now, as if the only thing that's concerning Egyptians now to make us a better country is what women dress. All this is happening. Women has been losing a lot. Women are no longer there. We're under defense. We're starting to do what our grandmothers were doing 100 years ago. Khitan, the circumcision, they're calling for the circumcision now and trying to get rid of the law. They're calling for the abolition of the personal status law. Why? It is not even for women, it's for the children. And it is based on Sharia. What is this?
What, in your views, are the main challenges facing Egyptian women in the post-revolution period?
I think the biggest challenge is for the communities, whether they are women or men, and even among the young, realize that we have to separate between religion and politics. That because not every religious guy is a real religious guy. I mean, the fact that you say this doesn't mean, the fact that I am not part of a party does not mean I'm less a Muslim than you are, or that I know less than you are. Actually, I know a lot about religion and I've studied it after my PhD. So the idea, and a lot of people that I met from the parliament have no clue what the Islamic religion was talking about. So I think the biggest challenge we're facing is to elect a president who belongs to a group, even if he is a genius and an angel, to have one political thought in Egypt based on a religion that they decide is the only religion is the biggest challenge we're facing.
What is your NGO doing on the ground to empower women?
On the ground and on the policy level. On the policy level, we went to the parliamentarians, all of them, and we proved to them by writing, by the Quran, by the religious people, that the personal status law is Sharia, is based on Sharia. And why do you want to change it? Now, number one. Number two, we started a campaign in the streets asking women, okay, you've elected whoever you elected. Now they're accountable to you in the parliament. Let us tell us if they have focused on the real issues of Egyptians or not. Have they focused on your kids' employment? Have they focused on economy? Have they focused on education? Or are they focused on things that are not a priority in Egypt? We are working also on telling women that, asking them what do they want from the president and helping them, saying this is your right to have a better education for your kid, health system for your family, access to water, clean water is your right. Ask your parliamentarian president to focus on this and not focus on what women dress or not. This is something between us and God, you know, and it should not be the priority now. It should be in the mosque, it should be in the schools maybe, but not in politics.
When we spoke to women in the shanty towns and remote villages, we found that their demands were decent jobs, affordable housing, food. These are also the demands of Egyptian men. Are there demands that are peculiar to women?
Of course not. Who is the woman? The woman is the mother, the daughter, the sister, the wife. Who is she? She's not an alien coming from somewhere else. We do not want anything better, better or different than what the men want, you know. But we want it for ourselves and for our sons and husbands. We don't want it only for the husbands. Well, the problem with some of the men is they think it is their prerogative only and that the women can stay home. We're not saying if a woman wants to stay home and they can afford it, why not? But you know, when all these religious leaders ask women to stay home, I'm asking one question. Which women are they talking about? Who goes every day to the field? The maid who goes and cleans the houses because she has to take care of her kid? The petty vendor who goes to the zoo and is harassed because she has to buy? Or is he talking about me? Usually they're talking about me. They're talking about educated women only. They're not talking about the real women who work every day. 70% of the Egyptian women are in the informal sector. They're not talking about them. Because they can't afford. Who's going to take care of these women? Who's going to take care of? So when people say stay home, they're only talking about the educated women. They're not talking about the majority of the women who are really working every day in the street. And this is what I'm saying. They want a decent job because these are the ones who are harassed in the markets. These are the ones who have to go out every day. And these are the ones that nobody addresses, including the fundamentalists. They're not addressing these women. They want us to stay home. We are their problem, not the normal woman. And I'm saying, wake up every woman. When they say stay home, they're not talking about you. You think you're going to rest at home? They cannot afford having you at home. They're talking about us.
Political rights, democracy and freedom are a luxury when women are hungry, when people are hungry.
Yes and no, because when you say political freedom is your freedom to choose. So if you are obliged by a guy in the streets now who turns himself into whatever to cover your hair, even if you're a Christian, that's political freedom, and you have nowhere to go. If you are obliged or forced by a guy not to work in this way or to go this way and that way, that is political freedom. So again, it depends what your definition. We're not talking about elections. We're talking about the right to go in the street. When you walk in the street and you're harassed one way or the other by being beaten by the Nahi al-Munkar or by being called names or by being touched or said something rude to you, that is political freedom. That's your freedom to walk in the streets as equal as to men.
But are women aware of that, or do we need a campaign to educate them about their rights?
No, they're aware that they want a safe street. That's what they call it, a safe street. They might not call it a political right. They might not call it whatever. They just want a safe street. They want to be able to go to school. They want to have equal access to good water. Now, all of these are political rights based on political freedom. You know, but they just don't label it like that. And unfortunately, we label things for them. But the women who told you, I want a safe street, a safe house, medical care, that is, we will not have it unless you have political freedom, unless you have a say, unless you can make the guy whom you elected fail next time and not elect him, which is democracy.
As an Egyptian woman and as chairperson of an NGO working on women's issues, what are you asking of the next president of Egypt on behalf of the women of Egypt?
I am asking the president to love all Egyptians, to live up to the revolution, to make us achieve our objectives of the revolution. Equality, lack of discrimination against anybody, dignity for every Egyptian, and food, freedom, and social justice.
Iman Bibers, thank you for joining us on the program this week.
Thank you.